Some kiddos were struggling a little bit with our math lesson today, and I worked in small groups with lots of them. But just for some extra practice, I wanted to make a video so that if you guys had any questions about how to solve these, that you were able to help them, or maybe it's just a vocabulary thing where you're not sure what I would call something or what they would call something. So I thought I would just make this video to make it pretty helpful. Hopefully you will find it to be helpful. The first one that we're going to do is 14 times 53, and this is called the expanded algorithm is what we're using. Also, if it asks to use partial products, you probably have seen them come home with using the box method that looks like this, and they would have done 10 and 4 or 50 and 3, separating those by place value. This is just another way to do the exact same thing. So what they're going to do is they're always going to multiply the bottom row number, the number in the bottom row, by a number in the top row. A few of them have been multiplying like the 1 and the 4 together, or the 5 and the 3, and that's where they're getting confused. So the first step is going to be to multiply the ones by the ones, and so 3 ones times 4 ones, and that is 12. And then the next step is going to be 3 ones times 110, so 3 times 10, and then that's 30. When they're lining them up here, it is important that they line them up by place value so that when they add in a minute, it's going to be a lot easier to add if it's already written correctly. And then once we're done, we're going to cross out our 3 because we're finished using our 3, and now we have 5 tens times 4 ones, or 50 times 4. And then they should be able to do the basic fact of 5 times 4 is 20, and then add a 0, so 200. And then the last one is the tens times the tens, so 50 times 10. And then once again, the basic fact of 5 times 1 is 5, and then add your zeros. And then they would add this all up, and then this is their final answer. This was number 1 of their homework. Sorry, this angle's kind of funky. But when they're multiplying, we just like to use words like ones times ones, using those place value vocabulary. Ones times tens, tens times ones, and then tens times tens, just because the value of this 5 is not 5, the value of the 5 is 50, and so they just need to reference that, because in here it already shows them, because it's like 50 times 10 or 50 times 4. So they kind of are already doing that here. This is just another way to look at it. And then also something that I always tell them, I wrote on here, is to always multiply the bottom row number times the top row number. Just like I talked at the beginning, they are going to be multiplying a number down here to a number up here. Also, when they write, a lot of them, like even for this one, would write 4 times 3, and while the product of 4 times 3 is the same as 3 times 4, I try to always get them to write the bottom number first, because once we get into the standard algorithm, it's a lot easier to lose track if you don't remember what you've multiplied. So remembering that it's the bottom number times the top number. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know, and I hope that you found this video to be helpful.